Good morning. My name is Frank. I'm the educational minister at Live Oak Baptist Church in Watson, Louisiana. And I was putting together something for our kids here at our church, but thought I would just post this so it'd be available for everyone if you wanted to do that. And here's the thing that we're going to do with this particular project, and that is I'm going to ask our families, our parents, and our kids to go through the book of Mark for the next 16 weeks. So each week I will post a video, probably on Wednesday, that will have an outline of each chapter. This week we're going to start with chapter 1, and then I will share something from that chapter that meant something to me, and then encourage kids and their moms and dads or grandparents or whoever to go through each of the outlines that are available and read through these chapters and find out what God is wanting to teach them or show them. So this won't just be for the crisis at hand. This will go way into the summer months, and we'll see what God has in store for us. I think Mark is an excellent chapter or an excellent book for kids to read or to start from, whether they've been reading the Bible for a long time or just starting right now. Mark was Peter's really good friend, and so we see the life of Christ and all that through Peter and from Mark's perspective as he's writing in that gospel. Now, Mark was not an original disciple of Jesus. Mark was the John Mark that went on the first missionary journey with Paul and Barnabas. And so it's neat to see if you know that story. If not, I won't spoil it for you. It's just interesting to see how God continues to use those guys like Mark, who made a couple of mistakes in his life, but is now ministering to millions and millions of people as being an author of one of the 4 books that most people read in God's Word. So this is what I'm going to invite you to do. Grab a notebook. That maybe a fresh new notebook that you could start taking notes and stuff in. Not notes from me, but from what God is going to show you. And so I'm just real simple, nothing really complex. Just start at the top of the page, write Mark 1, and then to date. So if you just put today's date, and if you're starting today or tomorrow, then the first heading here, the first part of Mark is the ministry of John the Baptist, verses 1 through 8. And again, at the bottom or attached to this video will be the outline of just a simple outline of that chapter. And we'll write the date here. And then for all this space, take that time to answer a few questions. And these questions are listed at the bottom as well. So what does Jesus want me to see or learn from this passage? What does Jesus want me to do or change from this passage? What does Jesus want me to pray about from this passage? How can I share Jesus with others from this passage? And so you, the kids, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandma, y'all write your thoughts, write your feelings here on this page. You may answer some of the questions. You may not be able to answer any of them. There may be some strange sets of verses that none of those questions actually make sense. But take the time to ask God and talk with your family, talk with your kids, talk with your parents, about what Jesus is wanting to show you and to teach you in this passage. And then just follow along each and every for the rest of the week, all those different things. This particular verse or this particular chapter has 45 verses. So there's a lot to do between now and next Wednesday. Let me point out one particular verse from this passage that I want to share with you, and that is verse 35. And Mark writes, very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. I think it's very, very important that, especially during this time, that we spend part of our day in prayer. And kids, you can do this too. There's no reason that you have to be a grown-up to be able to pray. As Jesus gives us the example, he got up early in the morning. He went to a place all by himself where there were no distractions. There was nobody else. And he prayed and asked the Father to help him throughout the day. And if you're scared, if you're nervous, if you have anxiety, if you don't know what to do, there's no better person in this world to talk to than our Heavenly Father, than to Jesus. And he gives us, Jesus again, gives us that example to go and to pray in a quiet place. And I encourage moms and dads to do that. And kids, I encourage you to do that right now, especially most of y'all are home. Most of you are vamping your entire lives. So put this in your schedule and do that. Later on, maybe we'll talk about different ways that we can pray in another video or so. But anyway, that's what God showed me today. So I invite everybody, if you have questions or if you want to post what God is showing you back to this original Facebook post, that would be really cool. I will try to answer any questions or anything that you may have. And let's just have fun and see what God is going to do in all of our lives these next 16 weeks as we together go through the book of Mark.